It's me, Jessica Bieber, and today I thought I would do a discussion video about what are the differences between 2NE1 and BLACKPINK. I'm a fan of both groups, so this is no hate towards either of them. I just thought I would make this video because I see a lot of comments saying BLACKPINK are just copying 2NE1 and they're just carbon copies and they're just rip-offs. And I wanted to do a video that isn't really hateful. I wanted to do a video that actually has logical arguments on why they're different and why they're similar. And then you guys can gather your own opinions at the end. I'm gonna address the elephant in the room and talk about how Mr. YG himself said that BLACKPINK is supposed to be a pretty version of 2NE1. So if you want to take YG's word for gospel, then sure, just remember that he is just a problematic idiot, and you guys don't even need me to explain to you why he's just a problematic idiot, because there's a million videos on why he is with proof. So for the company as a whole, just forgetting about one person for a minute, I think the company did want to replicate 2NE1's success with a similar dynamic as them. The dynamic obviously being 4 girls, 2 singers and 2 rappers. So from a business perspective, I can definitely see why you would want to recreate 2NE1's success, and using their dynamic would obviously be the way to recreate their success. But YG calling them Pretty 21 is just kind of a bullshit statement, because first of all, beauty is subjective, and I think both 2NE1 and BLACKPINK are just as beautiful as each other. They're just different. They have a different type of visual. And the last thing is, YG is just a hypocrite, and he literally said that SNSD was better than 2NE1, his own group that was created in his agency. He's just fake and phony, so really shouldn't take what he has to say to heart, because he's just proven to be a hypocrite, bullshitter. The list goes on. So now that's out of the way, I'm going to talk about the first difference that I find between the two groups, which is their style difference and influences. So 2NE1 and BLACKPINK would definitely go under the category of girl crush, but there's more than just one style of girl crush. It's like saying there's only one cute concept. Like, no, there's so many different types of girl crush with different influences in their style. So the difference is 2NE1's style was very, very unique to them in the first place, but they took a lot of influences from Harajuku fashion and culture from Japan. There's so many different types of Harajuku styles, but I think the styles that 2NE1 took the most influence from, which is Koanlu street style, is a typical Harajuku style look. It's got a lot of hip-hop influences, it's very colourful and very bright, and if my reading was right, then it became popular in Japan around 10-12 years ago. It's very bold and unique, and you just wouldn't see something like this on the streets of the UK, that's for sure. So I think 2NE1 definitely took some influences from this subcategory of Harajuku, and the second subcategory of Harajuku that I think that they took influences from, and forgive my pronunciation, is called Oshare-kei. This style focuses a lot on mixing different patterns, bright colours and punk elements to create a unique look. And unlike Visual Kei, which you guys might be more familiar with, the makeup is more toned down, so you can focus more on the eyes. The style is also very gender neutral. You'll see that both men and women could wear these clothes, just as how it should be, and you know, it looks fierce. So we can obviously see that 2NE1 have got a lot of influences from these Harajuku subcultures and fashions. Meanwhile, BLACKPINK have a little bit more of a different type of style. So I don't exactly know what I would name BLACKPINK's style, but it's very Instagram body, very in fashion with Western trends. So I think it's safe to say that BLACKPINK's style is a bit more heavily rotated around Western fashion. So while 2NE1 has Japanese influences on their style, it's pretty safe to say that BLACKPINK have Western influences on their style, and neither are bad, they're just very, very different. Some of you may think that it's just clothes, but it's kind of more than that, because if it's unique to them and if it's iconic, then people will associate those type of clothes with that band, and then that kind of creates more buzz around the band. And if you see clothes that are like, oh, that's something 2NE1 would wear, or, oh, that's something BLACKPINK would wear, it's kind of showing that they're doing something right by dressing a certain way. If you can associate certain clothes with them, it shows that they're iconic. I feel like many people will comment and say BLACKPINK's style is unoriginal, but I feel like that's because a lot of people who might think this are used to these types of fashion styles, and they are from the West, and they're kind of familiar with all this kind of Instagram body kind of looks. But you could argue the same thing for 2NE1, you know? These people in Japan could be saying, well, that's not unique because we've already seen it here in Japan. Like, it's really just about perspective. Another difference I think they have is envy and concept aesthetics. Both BLACKPINK and 2NE1's music videos are very unique in terms of concept aesthetics, and I don't really see why people call them the same. I think people see colour scheme being copying, but 21 nor BLACKPINK own a certain colour scheme. I do believe that maybe you can find a few similarities in their music video, but I don't particularly think they're intentional. And you would have to be really looking at the small details, because I just find 21 and BLACKPINK's concepts just so different. Both of the groups fall under the kind of badass girl crush concept, but there's more than just one badass concept. Like I said, cute concepts aren't just schoolgirl concepts. Just think about it like that. There's more than just one type of badass concept. I could also just not see BLACKPINK doing the same type of MV aesthetics that 21 do in their music videos, and vice versa as well. So the last thing we're going to talk about is the music. So a lot of people shade BLACKPINK for having some songs that were meant to be for 21, but first of all, that's not really their fault, and second of all, I don't really see a problem in it. So I can't change the facts that BLACKPINK have got some songs that were meant to be for 21, but I feel like most people say that they're just rip-offs of 21. But the thing is, and maybe I'll get hate for saying this, but the genre and style of music of 21 and BLACKPINK isn't really unique in terms of just the sound itself, but what makes them unique is the concepts, the MV, and how the girls deliver it. I feel like anybody could sing any 21 or BLACKPINK song and make it unique if it was true to themselves. I really love both groups, but when it really comes down to it, in terms of the sound, anyone can have this sound. It's just what you do with the sound, how you present it in a music video, and all of that kind of jazz. At the end of the day, it's EDM music and it's good music, but 21 nor BLACKPINK do not own a style of music. The way they make their songs iconic is the way they deliver and the way they present it in a music video. So because of this, that's why I don't really care that BLACKPINK used some songs that were made for 21, because if they didn't go to BLACKPINK, then they could have went to anyone, and it doesn't really matter as long as they made it unique to themselves. And aside from BLACKPINK and 21, there have been so many cases of some of the most iconic hits of K-pop being meant for other artists. For example, Hot Summer was originally for SNSD, but FX made it their own. Lucky One by EXO was made for SHINee, and Run Devil Run by SNSD was originally by Kesha. So a song's style or a genre doesn't matter as long as the people itself are making it their own, which I think BLACKPINK have done. I don't think BLACKPINK have the same rapping or singing style as any of the members of 21. So in that sense, it doesn't really matter that it was used to be a 21 song, because they made it into their own song unique to them. And that's why I see them as not these carbon copies or Pretty 21, because they have their own form of delivery and they have their own aesthetics and style completely different to 21. And I like both styles, and regardless, they're both talented and rich, so it doesn't really matter what an auntie thinks, really. At the end of the day, I'm excited for the future for all 8 of them. I'd love to see a reunion with 21, and I want to see BLACKPINK get even more successful than they already are. And just to add on the end, originally I was going to do a thing where I asked some of my followers what the differences were between 21 and BLACKPINK in their opinion, but for some reason I only got 2% of actual answers and 98% of hate towards BLACKPINK, which I thought was quite disappointing. So thank you to all the people who actually sent in things that were valid and an actual opinion rather than just hate. But yeah, that was kind of disappointing. The 2 most common actual answers that weren't hate were is that 21 has more stage presence than BLACKPINK, and that 21 have more of a bond, and that BLACKPINK seem more fake. So let's start with the stage presence thing. I do think that they have come a long way since debut. I think their stage presence is getting better, and I will say they're maybe not on the same level as 21 yet, because they're not as far into the game as 21, but I do think they'll get more and more better when the years pass, because that's just natural, you know, you practice, you get better. I personally think Lisa's stage presence is unclockable, but I can see why people may think their stage presence isn't the best as 21's due to Jennie's scandal. Nowadays, Jennie is getting a lot better when it comes to her stage presence, so you shouldn't really say someone's going to be permanently bad with their stage presence, because, you know, practice makes perfect, and they have been getting better and they've been trying way harder. I can see it because it shows off, you know? And lastly, comparing BLACKPINK's bond to 21, saying BLACKPINK's is fake or whatever, is just kind of stupid. You can't expect all groups to have the same type of bond, because even though they're two rappers and four singers, they're not going to have the same bond as 21 because they're different people. Every friendship has different, dynamics, and that's just how it is. I can't really convince anyone that they're fake or they're not. It's all really about perspective, but from my judgment, they just seem like nice girls who just like each other a lot, so I don't really see any problem with their bond at all. So that's all of my opinion. I probably rambled on a lot, and thank you guys for listening to my rambles. I hope I made sense and I didn't offend anyone because, that's never my intent. But I'd love to hear what your opinions are, and if you agree or disagree, always want to hear, so let me know in the comments. Don't forget to stand Taeyeon. I'll see you guys later. Bye!